it's been a few days. That's a joke. It's been a long time. And honestly, I wasn't going to vlog again, but Katie guilt tripped me into it. So anyways.
Wow.
I have no idea where we left off, but I'm just going to show you where we're at right now and then tell you about my project for tonight. So you can see the kitchen, which I believe the cabinets were all done and painted, and you saw the handles. But I put these pendant lights in, got to adjust them a little bit. And then the bathroom, I got this all done. I don't know if you saw this or not. So anyways, oh, one thing I know you didn't see is the crown molding. I did that off camera, and then I think this around the window as well. So this is all fake wood. Most of it is plastic actually, and then I think this is just like a fiberboard. So anyways, it was really easy to work with and it was super cheap. So the project for tonight, as you can see, is we're putting down flooring, and I know you guys are probably like, what the heck, you have hardwood. Well, this spot just kept getting worse. I mean, the cracks are huge, and they're all over. Tons of those kind of water damage spots all over this floor. And so we just really didn't think that it was gonna turn out very well, and it's really intensive. I mean, it's gonna take probably at least a week to prep it, and then you have to put it on there, do coats, you know, every couple of days. It's probably a 2 or 3 week process all in. And then we weren't even sure we were gonna like it because the bedroom turned out okay, but not super great, and the floors in there were in great shape when we started. So we just decided to put down some laminate flooring, call it a day. I'll be able to finish this whole floor tonight, and it'll be easy. And as disappointing as it is, we are going to end up redoing the floor in the bedroom just so that it matches, and then we'll run it into here as well. During my lunch break, I came home and worked on getting stuff prepped, and part of that was I had to cut these off flat, and then I used this aluminum tape to seal it because there was huge gaps around here and you could just feel the air coming up from the crawl space. So this is nice and airtight now. All that conditioned air is gonna go into the actual space I want it to be conditioned. And then what I did is when I laid down this underlayment, I just cut it down the center and like that, and I folded it in and also sealed that because I don't want air blowing under this underlayment, because then it'll want to force the floor up. So that'll keep that sealed. It could still get under here, under the laminate flooring, but it's heavy enough, and with this in there, it's gonna go down below the laminate. So I think that'll kind of be negligible. Most people don't even do this, so I think I'll be fine. What I'm gonna do is cut this out, and I'm gonna attempt to use the same thing that I used to cut out all the outlets for the drywall. I think it's gonna work, but if it doesn't, I'll figure something else out. Well, that worked perfect. So I got that piece cut out. Now I've gotta draw the profile on here and cut it out of this piece, and then the rest of the floor should go really smooth. I got one more vent over there, but the big full pieces don't take any time at all. I did, when you're prepping for this, you wanna measure the width and then figure out how many planks you need, because you want the plank on this end and the one on that end to be about the same size. Otherwise, it's gonna look really goofy. So, and you don't wanna end up with, you know, that much on this side, which is what I was gonna end up with, was about 2 inches over here. So, and then when I put the trim on top, it was gonna be like a 1/2 inch or 1 inch. So I cut this one almost in half, and then those will be almost in half, and it'll work out pretty good. Bam!
Would you look at this?
Didn't even have to use a tape measure. You just gotta put it in there and kind of line everything up, and then fold it down, and it's done. And then you just, all the way down, cut your last piece, and just keep doing row after row. And it goes super quick once you know, those take a little bit, and then going under the doors will take a little bit longer. Well, that was a couple minutes, and you can see I've got 4 rows almost done, 1 more piece to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and finish this row, do 1 more row, and then I'll lay out some more of this underlayment, And I'm just gonna time lapse really quick, probably 30 seconds to do this whole thing. And then once I get down into here, well, I've never done this before, so I really don't know. I know I have to undercut these door jambs to get the boards under them, but I don't know how to do that the best way, so we'll figure it out together. Ran into, not a problem, just something to watch out for, but you can see I want it to end like right there. You don't want it to butt up against the wall or else it'll buckle when it expands. But this is far too small to cut a piece to fill in there, obviously. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this piece that was the offcut and I'm just gonna cut like 4 inches off of it. It doesn't matter because then this will all shift down and I can put a bigger piece in there and then I can just keep going. Been about 45 minutes and I've gotten, I don't know, maybe 2/3 done. So it is going pretty quick and I'm kind of at a point where I need to cut for this other register vent. And anyways, it's been going well. I made one bad cut, so I've wasted one board so far, except I think I'll be able to use those pieces kind of in here. You might not be able to see it in the camera, but because I'm using the same piece and just wrapping it around, it's making this kind of like pattern. And so I don't really care if it makes a pattern or not, but it's already been doing it. And so I don't really want to use these boards here and then throw off the pattern. And anyways, so yeah, I have to do this. And oh, this subfloor underlayment stuff came from Amazon. It is something very similar to this. A different brand is about 55 cents a square foot at Home Depot. This stuff was 21 cents a square foot. So, and it had a 5-star rating, thousands of reviews. So really good, cheap, and that's just kind of why I did it. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut that piece, and then I'm going to cut out the vent and situate that, and then the rest should go pretty smoothly until we get to these doors. I have these little metal tracks that I have to screw down that hold the molding on the top to kind of cover the gap. So I will put down the underlayment and then put those tracks down, because when I go up here, I need to leave a gap on the side of the track so that this floor can kind of shift a little bit without waving. So I'm sure I just described that really terribly, but you'll understand it in just a minute. Hello.
Ooh, so nice. It actually looks really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Making progress.
For sure.
Just a little bit left to do.
Kevin is very excited about the vlog.
Oh, really?
Very excited.
Shout out to Kevin. We're so weird.
Why?
We just said the same thing at the same time.
Because we love each other.
Oh.
We're sappy.
Quick update for you guys. The main part of the living room is completely done, and we both think it looks super good. You can see this is the little metal track, and I have to leave a gap right there. So yeah, I think this last row took longer to do than the entire rest of the floor. So right now I'm kind of at this point where I need to chop off the bottoms of the door jambs. So what I did is I cut a little piece of the underlayment, and then I had this scrap, and I'm going to use this multi-tool to just cut it off, basically. I don't know really how else to do it. So I'm going to do that on all of these, and I mean, it's getting kind of late, so I'll probably cut these off and then maybe lay down a few more and go to bed. That was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. Super, super easy. Just chop it right off, and hopefully it's the right height. I mean, I've got this and I cut it, so it should be perfect. Well, another Ryobi tool bit the dust. It just kind of flashes every now and then, and it doesn't do anything. As you saw, I cut that one, and then I went over here and cut this one, and then I went to do this one, and I made it just a little bit, and then it quit. So I don't really know. I've really never used this tool, maybe a handful of times before today. So it's just one of those things that came in a kit when I bought it, and it's turned out pretty handy. So I'll have to get another one and finish, but kind of puts a damper on finishing this because I need to cut the door jambs before I can go. So, and they're closed, so you know, it always happens like that. But I think I got a lot done. I was really hoping to finish it tonight, but it just took so much longer than I anticipated for all these tricky cuts and whatnot. But I laid, I think 230 square foot is the size of this room, so pretty decent. I got a new multi-tool. This one works, hopefully for a little bit longer than the old one. I went ahead and finished cutting under these door jambs here, and then what I'm gonna do, since this is all one sheet here, is I'm going to take off this trim and just lay this in where it needs to go so that it's all there whenever I do this bedroom and I don't have to worry about it. And then I will cut this to fit, and once I get that done, I'm gonna finish the flooring, at least in this little entryway area, put down the molding that goes in there, and then I will put the molding in here, and then I think I'm gonna go do trim around here because we would love to move the couches that are back there into here, and I think realistically we can do that this weekend because I should be able to finish this today and then maybe even start on trim, and it's only Thursday, so Friday trim, paint the trim, and then this weekend, you know, move everything into here, and then I can finally clean out the garage of like most of the crap in there because the cars have been neglected for so long, and they all need oil changes, and they all need a lot of stuff, and I just haven't done it because it's so freaking cold outside. Guys, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but if you look at that, that is perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Look how close that is. I don't think you could get better than that. If you put some trim up here, you'll never even see it. I just finished. It's what, 6:50, so it took me about an hour to finish, and this is how it turned out. Let me show you the whole. Obviously I've got a mess here, but this is how it worked out. I'm actually super impressed with myself on how I got it under the door jambs. Most of the time you see it as a remodel and they just kind of like botch it around there and don't even worry about it, but these are super tight fit. Probably not as good as I could do if I installed the door jambs after, but really close. And then you can see this transition piece, so that'll be there permanently. And then I went ahead and cut this right here, and what I'm gonna do is when I do this room, it'll be totally separate, and then it'll have a T-mold over the top in all the door jambs. It was just kind of getting, especially these joints right here where it was so thin, and all this was attached to all that over there with just a few thin strips. It wasn't really too strong, I didn't feel like, and so I think with these joints here, it'll keep, when you know the house moves and things in the room move, it'll keep it isolated from this small section, which all the traffic this will get is walking, not like huge things sliding across the floor or anything. So anyways, super happy with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I'll do some cleaning up and then probably do trim, but no one wants to watch you nail up trim. It's pretty easy. and self-explanatory, but I'll definitely update you guys after I get that done. And really, I think we're pretty much at the end of this project. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm glad Katie told me to do it again, but if you haven't noticed, or if you were friends with me on Facebook, I'm not on Facebook anymore, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and then click the little bell next to it, because it'll send you an email whenever I upload a new video. That's kind of how you'll find out now. Katie's going to post them on her Facebook for at least a little while, but it's the subscribers that'll get notified of the new videos. So anyways, do that if you want to check them out. I'm going to keep going and keep making videos, not near as often just because the project is wrapping up, but yeah, super happy. Cannot wait to have couches in here and get that garage cleaned out.